Hey guys, what's up? This is Scanlan from Fastfire News here with our Turbo T-Rex Season 1, Episode 12 Threatened Review. So, this is our first Turbo T-Rex review, actually, since the crossover, and actually our very first Turbo T-Rex review on video, period. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes, guys. Alright, so first off, I had been really initially skeptical of this episode of Turbo T-Rex. I said that a lot in my reviews. I noticed I say I was skeptical of an episode quite a bit. But that's not on purpose, I promise. But I really was really not sure what I was going to think about this episode. Because, sorry, the camera's just, the angle is bugging me. I wasn't sure what to think about this episode because we had heard, according to the episode description, that Wendelis was going to be trying to shut the police down, and I just didn't know if that was going to work, because I didn't see how Wendelis could have that kind of authority, or that kind of power, and I just didn't really see Wendelis being able to shut the police down completely. It just didn't really make sense to me, especially just based on one guy's actions. Now, this week's episode did not take the route I expected. For better or worse, I'm gonna go with better right now. But I'll talk a little bit more about that soon. So, and luckily, this week's episode of Turbo T-Rex wound up being another pretty strong installment in the series. So, anyways, let's the Wendelis material this week, the Wendelis narrative, I should say. Wendelis has so far been one of the best villains ever in any of the current wave of shows, and pretty much any show, period. He has been one of the best, by far, the best. He's been a very formidable foe to Traxel. It seems like no matter where Traxel has tried to outsmart Wendelis, or basically has tried to think ahead of Wendelis always has a backup plan for it. And this was another instance that showed that. Caledon, apparently, going by the episode before now, the crossover episode, Caledon had broken into Wendelis' building to try to see if he could locate any evidence against him, and Wendelis found him in it at the end. He met him there at the end and saw that he'd gone in there. And you really don't, that Wendelis obviously didn't plan for Caledon to go in there. So that means that Wendelis had planned this out, had decided all on this soon after he learned about it. Which means he's very good at improvising, and this is another instance that shows he's a really good villain, because he always knows what to do and how to handle a situation when it's not going his way. Now, I've said before quite a few times that Wendelis is a great villain, so I don't need to keep repeating it. But, again, so far, Wendelis has been a spectacular villain in the show, and I'm wondering how they're going to top him in the next season, or how they're even going to make a villain that matches him, honestly, that not even just topping him, because I'm really impressed with the character. They've done a fantastic, great job of writing him. They've added a lot of... He's more than just your normal generic villain, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this is going to go for the last 2 episodes. Now, Wendelis' big speech this week, there was either that could have gone in a very uninteresting direction, or let me say that I had, when the episode started off, I was really interested in seeing how they were going to do it, but I wasn't sure if that was going to be able to make a whole episode. We had the big speech, and I wasn't sure they were going to be able to make a full episode out of it without something in the background. Now, surprisingly, the Wendelis speech wound up being extremely much more entertaining than I expected. It was really interesting seeing the business side of Wendelis, the more public figure he puts on. And I really liked getting to see that side of him again, because there's been a lot, we've kind of seen more lately of his villainous side, if I'm saying that right. Okay, well, let's just say his more evil side. We've been seeing more of his villain side lately, and it was a nice change of pace to be able to see more of him basically trying to connect with the public once again. That's always some of Wendel's best scenes, is always when he's manipulating the public into believing he's this public hero, this person who's going to fix all of life's problems. And it was really interesting, and it was a nice change to be able to see that this week, especially since we're so close to the finale. I like that the writers stepped back and just focused on making Wendelis be more of the character he's supposed to be, rather than just trying to... I mean, they could have just taken Wendelis and really got him going into being evil now that we're so close to the finale, and really just amped up his plan and everything. But they stepped back, and for this episode, let Wendelis' big speech lead up to those big events that are going to be taking place in next week's episode. Now, this speech wound up being really extremely entertaining this week. It really wound up... I mean, there was more to it than I had figured. Sorry. There's more to it than I expected. I kind of thought he was just going to try and make the police look bad, and the police were going to get shut down because of it, and that was going to be that. But I kind of liked I like the fact that he didn't just try to make the police bad. He kind of left it to the public to decide, to the crowds to decide what was what they basically thought was the right course of action and everything. And it's just always so great getting to see that part of Wendelis, because that part of Wendelis that you see because you know that he's going to get his way in the end. And it's really interesting watching, and it's really, this is credits to the actor and the writers that they managed to make him such an evil villain without even showing it. I mean, you can see Wendelis completely just manipulating everybody when they're not even realizing it. That was especially apparent at the end, which I'm not going to get to the end yet. But that was especially apparent at the end when you're literally watching Traxel try to stop bad guys, basically, even though it was basically just staged and nothing was really going to happen anyway. But you're seeing literally TurboTax coming trying to stop bad guys, and it doesn't even look like the public doesn't even realize they're watching TurboTax basically go after bad guys. I mean, it's like Wendelis manipulates things so much that you're almost trying to wrap your head around how he managed to completely change their view into something so completely different than what it actually is. So, yes, I think that Wendelis' part of the episode was really, I think, in the focus on his character was made for a really entertaining narrative this week. If I have any complaints about that, I think it's just that I wasn't completely keen on the police side. I really liked Caledon scenes. I mean, when Caledon came in, it was trying to basically we didn't even step back. Basically, it was just trying to completely get it out that this was all Wendelis and that everybody's not realizing what's going on. And the police chief basically didn't hold back and kind of got just angry with him and told him basically he was ruining everything and going to make the police look bad. And that he already had, basically. I really liked those scenes, and the performances from the actors I thought was really good in those moments. You could see a lot of the frustration in the chief as basically, because that he kind of he's basically fond. You get the sense he's fond of Caledon, but he's kind of just basically having to put up with all this because he doesn't want to just outright fire him, but he's gonna have to because when Caledon just keeps messing things up, and he's basically gonna cause problems with. Well, he already is causing problems with the public not believing in the police now. So I really like that they have this strained, kind of friendly but strained, severely strained relationship that's just getting worse. It's kind of just a more interesting subtle part of the show with those two characters. But as what I didn't care for about was I really liked the fact that the chief basically was talking for the police around the end time. We got to see him basically kind of standing up for the police. What I didn't understand was that he was kind of taking Wendelis' side when he was talking to Colin, saying that he was basically saying that Wendelis was just up there doing the right thing, essentially, which I got, because he's basically saying that Wendelis is basically pointing out the fact that this is really what's going on, and it's your fault, and he's not doing anything. He's just basically saying it how it is. But at the same time, we were watching, we literally see the chief standing on stage while Wendelis is completely just downing the police, saying that they can't be trusted, that this, literally like showing them the footage, is like what we, or I can't remember if he was showing any footage at that time. I mean, he's basically just saying, like, this is what the police is, this is what our authority is, how can we trust them, and the chief's just kind of standing there letting him say that. I would think that he would kind of have stepped in and said, this is just called on, this is just one person's fault. I really would have liked, I guess what I'm saying is, I really would have liked an argument there, like a debate with Wendelis and the chief, the police chief guy. Kind of hope he gets his name at some point. I really don't want to keep just calling him the police chief guy. But anyways, I would have liked to see a debate, kind of like how we've seen with Zinx and Tracer and Silent Shrave on Down Changer. I really would have liked to see a debate between those two characters, and basically, I would have liked maybe it to not be so one-sided, maybe first to see some people kind of say, like, well, how do you know this is, I mean, this is just one guy, maybe this isn't all of the police, and kind of just maybe get a more balanced argument debate between the public and Wendelis and the police chief. But overall, it just goes to show you that Wendelis, despite that, I mean, I kind of wish it had gone that way, or at least I mostly just wish the chief had kind of stood up for the police a little more, as I think that would have made more sense and also kind of led to some more interesting scenes. But it just does go to show you, it serves a purpose, and that it shows you how much Wendelis is manipulating people, that he even completely left the chief where he didn't know how to argue it. So, yes, overall, I really enjoyed Wendelis' part of the narrative and the focus on that character this week. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this is going to go, because, around the end, we got that whole video, that Wendelis staged, with him completely tricking Traxel into believing that he was going to go help Colin find evidence against Wendelis, and basically set him up to look bad on camera again. So, and speaking of that, that was handled better, a lot better than it might have been at first. I mean, than it could have been. I was also thinking, okay, Traxel should know by now, after getting a message, that this is probably Wendelis going to trick him again. But the fact that Wendelis used the voice, Caldon's voice, to literally make Caldon ask Traxel to come so that he could help, basically they could kind of work together, because he needs help and everything. Getting a little tongue-tied here. Don't know why. There was no way Traxel really would have known that was Wendelis. So that was a much more clever way for Traxel to be duped into basically falling right into Wendelis' plan again, because there was no way he could have known that. And he's desperate to take down Wendelis and probably wanted to go by any lead he could. So yes, that was a clever twist at the end for Wendelis to totally turn the tide of things and not only make people worry about the police, but also worry about Turbo TRX as well. Like, now nobody trusts the police, nobody trusts Traxel. I think it still might be a little bit of a stretch for the police for nobody to trust all the police now just because of Colin. But that aside, it is a very interesting twist in the show to have everybody completely only trusting Wendelis now with everything, and it's even stepped up his character a little more now, because he's not just a businessman that everybody likes. He's now the hero, basically. He's basically Turbo TRX of the city now. So they're doing a great job of developing Wendelis, and that whole speech, everything that happened in it, there was some great performances. Wendelis is still fantastic, and we got a really cool twist at the end that's going to lead into basically Traxel being wanted by the police. I mean, not the police, but whoever those men were that he was basically telling the public about now. we're going to be getting a whole lot of action next week, it seems like, and I'm really looking forward to this twist because I want to see where this is going to go. So, overall, really great twist at the end this week. And the speech definitely made the episode, surprisingly enough. It really did make the episode. So, anyways, yeah, I was really, really happy with the Wendell's narrative this week. I wish that I think there was more potential in it that they didn't fully reach, and I wish that the Chief had kind of basically tried to defend the police just a little more, just to be a little more realistic. But overall, still extremely entertaining, and I like the direction they're going. So, moving on, the only other major thing we got this week, pretty much the only other thing, period, we got this week was Shreline working on a new project for Trexel. Now, I didn't know what this was at first, but quickly came to realize it was the new suit. V2. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what I'm gonna call it. So, I was kind of thinking that this was just gonna be Shreline kind of making the suit, which would have been still cool. I mean, I would have liked to see Shreline basically trying to make the suit and everything, and then kind of presenting it to Trexel at the end. That would have been cool. And we didn't actually get the debut of the new suit of V2 this week, but what we got was a lot better. I mean, not than the debut, because I really do want to see that. But we got something a lot better than what I had thought we were going to get at first, in that this led to the return of Kowser. Now, Kowser was mainly used as a plot device when he was introduced in the show as the reason... I mean, basically someone for Disablix to go after in Amtech City. And they have done so much more with this character than they even needed to, and I really like that. They've worked a lot on the bond between Trexel and Kowser. They've really made them seem like friends. There's really a sad, lingering feeling that they were close friends, and you can really feel it now. Like in the beginning when you saw them together, it was like, okay, he was Trexel's friend in the past. But you really can tell they were friends now. I mean, the actors have done a really great job at showing that and just basically showing that they're these two broken, that they have a broken friendship, basically. That there was a bond there between them that has been severed. And I think that they've done a really good job. I mean, that scene with Kowser talking to Trexel in the past, when Trexel was saying that they were going to go see that movie and have a good time and everything, and then the realization that he had just left and it had never happened and he didn't even know where Trexel had gone. It was really lost. I really felt bad for him there, because you really didn't. I mean, it did feel sad to know that Trexel had never even talked to him again after that. And I mean, I take it as, at first, Trexel couldn't talk to him because Splink told him not to and he didn't want to get involved. And then I guess the truth is that Trexel just got so involved in trying to become the TurboTax and everything and all that it got put behind him. So it really was sad to know that to know that had happened between them. Now, Kowser is a really great character right now. I'm really, really enjoying his character. I also think it's cool that that Shreline had to go basically bring him in to help, because Shreline basically knows the basics of putting some weapons together, but he doesn't know all of it. And that was cool that they couldn't just make it, and that was that. He had to go basically ask for help from somebody who had worked at Lightworks, which is also cool because now we know this is kind of like a crossover with Spinbots. I mean, it's really cool to think about that. Trexel now has some of his weapons came from Splinks, and also his suit now is linked to Amtech City and Spin Blast from Lightworks. So that's really cool. It's like we're really tying those shows together, and I really like that. That's really cool. So yes, basically we got Shreline, who's basically kind of knows about like circuits and electricity and all that, and then we got Kowser from Lightworks, and I think that makes a lot of sense for how they're going to develop this new advanced suit. And it made sense that Shreline decided he needed to make a new suit for Trexel because the other one wasn't working. And so yeah, I'm really excited for the debut. I think that they did a great job with making this more than just him getting the suit, but us actually getting a whole subplot around that of him basically him having to reconcile with Kowser to get the suit. So, I mean, I just really like that. I like that the development they put into the character. I like the sad relationship they're giving them, and the bit of the flashback we got there, which I really, really thought was a really great touch. And I like that they put a lot into not only the Kowser character, but also into how Traxel is going to get his suit. Because he's going to partly get it from a friend that he had in the past that he was trying to reconcile with. And it's a nice touch. I like that the writers put this much detail into it and focus and effort. Now, because it could have just been Shoreline making the suit, and that would have still been good to see. It would have been cool to see Shoreline design the suit for him. But we got more than that, and props to the writers for it. So, I'm really excited to see V2, honestly, in the show. I'm hoping that's going to debut in the next episode. It might not be till the finale, but we'll see. So, anyways, that was mostly all we got this week. I hope there's not anything I'm forgetting. I feel like I have like this lingering sense that I'm missing something, and I don't fully know what it is, but hopefully I didn't miss anything. Hopefully that was everything. So, anyways, oh yeah, we got a slight Downchanger reference I didn't mention. I kind of wish we'd get more of those lately because the campaign is literally about to end in Downchanger. I mean, the penultimate episode is the final campaign-focused episode, so we're about to get around the end of the whole thing. And I wish that they'd kind of make that a little more clear in the shows right now, but it was still cool to get a reference there from Wendell especially. Now, anyways, I wonder how Wendell feels about Stallion, honestly. Because he seems like he agrees with him. And I'm just, I'm kind of wondering what his view on Stallion is. But anyways, moving on to score. I'm trying to keep this review not too long. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to our rating. Now, I'm going to give this one a... I'm going to give this one an 8.6. I think that's fair. This was a great episode. There were some things that maybe could have been a little better, mainly with the whole speech thing. But we got a really, really cool twist at the end. We got a really good subplot with Shoreline and Kowser and Traxel. And then we got the Wendelis and his speech with the public, showing his becoming the public hero. So yeah, this was a great episode. I'm going to go with 8.6. And for great. So yeah, guys, this was a great episode of Turbo T-Rex. The show's still going great as usual. It's still an awesome show. I'm still enjoying it. We're about to be at the penultimate episode and then the finale, and I could not be more excited because I'm really liking this show. So anyways, guys, that's my score, 8.6. Great episode. Thanks for watching. Come back next week to FFN and check out our review of the Turbo T-Rex penultimate episode for Season 1. And the rest of our reviews for the rest of the shows, because they're at their penultimate episodes too, so, well, they're about to be, some of them are, but, yeah, you get the idea. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. This is Scam from Fast Fire News, and this is our Turbo T-Rex episode 12 review. Thanks for watching. Scaling out.